Educational GMAT. Your partner in your GMAT journey.
Again, these are all very classical word problems. There are 36,000 hardback copies of a certain novel. This is actually not difficult at all. Not difficult at all. Take 5 minutes, you should be able to solve it. So one is the hard copy version, and the second is the paperback version, right? Hardback copy and paperback copy of the same novel. Yes, guys, any progress, any thoughts in terms of how to approach this?
Uh, Given that the total number of copies are given, we can divide that into paperback and hardback and consider the variable for the amount of
Yes,
hardback copies sold.
yes, yes,
So the other will be 9x of that.
yes, yes, absolutely, absolutely.
Yeah,
Very
we can
nice.
then add it up to the total. Yeah.
Very nice, very nice. So, Sangathe, why don't you do this and tell me the answer? You're absolutely on the right track. Yes.
Yeah, so the answer, according to me, should be 396900 copies of the paperback being sold.
Okay, okay.
Wrong
How confident are
calculations.
you about the calculation?
Let me recheck actually.
Oh, by the way, all the calculation that you have to do in quant would be without the calculator. So whatever calculation that we are doing in the class for these questions is the actual calculation that GMAT expects you to do, because these are official questions without the calculator.
Yeah, I
So,
think after a recheck, I'm a little bit more confident about the answer.
okay, okay. So hardback copies sold were 36,000. This was before the paperback version was issued. From the first time the first paperback copy was sold until the last copy of the novel was sold, so 36,000 hardback copies were already sold, right? After that, the first paperback version was issued. Now, from this point, what do I mean by from this point? After 36,000 hardback copies were sold, from this point, what was true? This was true. 9 times as many paperback copies as hardback copies were sold. Now, this sometimes is a problem to interpret these kind of statements. Just so that all of us are on the same page, how are you guys interpreting this? Just tell me first, according to this statement, were paperback copies sold more or hardback copies sold more? Now, this is where the problem is. Read this again. 9 times as many paperback copies as hardback copies were sold. Very nice. So paperback copies were sold more. In fact, there were 9 times as many paperback copies sold as hard copies that were sold. So if number of hard copies sold were X, then number of paperback copies sold were 9X. From this point onwards, right? So what were the total number of copies of the novel sold? 36,000 plus X plus 9X, and this is given to us as 441,000. Right? Because this is the total number of copies that were sold, which obviously includes paperback as well as hardback. Friends, are we clear? Sangathe, are you okay with this?
Yes.
Okay, all right. So then we just solve for x, by the way. So it would be obviously, now notice the calculation is not very intensive. 10x is equal to how much?
405.
Very nice. 441,000 minus 36,000, which would be 405,000. So x is obviously 405,000. What did we have to find out, however? How many? Yeah, paperback copies were sold. So paperback copies are obviously 9x. So number of paperback copies is equal to 9x, which would be 9 into 40,500, right? So what's the answer that you guys are getting?
36450.
Okay.
Yeah. Think.
This one, right? Am I correct? Yes. Any doubt? This would definitely not count as a difficult question on GMAT, perhaps moderate difficulty.